All right, guys, what is going on? What is good? What is good? Welcome to the live stream. Hope you guys have had a decent day so far. Break even day for me. So, not ideal. Better than a loss. I'll allow it. You know? I will allow it. So, we'll talk about a couple things. Update yesterday. And anything else that I can think of. All right. Did you guys watch or trade NQ yesterday? Scott said 6 days on this combine and the first red day, it's all good. Yeah, every day won't be green, brother. But hey, as long as the losses are small and as long as those wins are bigger, then it's cool. Then it is cool. All right. Today was better than yesterday. Yeah, you're banned, my friend. You are blocked, banned. Enjoy your time off. Nah. Yesterday's PM was solid. I do not care for today so far. Was there opportunity? Of course. Did we get what I wanted to? No. No, we didn't. Oh well. What's good? Mason, Eric, MJ, Scott, Ram, Shay, Torty, Felix, Eberneth, Cameron, Jordan D. Man, Jordan, you should have watched that stream yesterday. Were you here yesterday? We watched ES trade lower yesterday at the 1 p.m. macro. Too easy. Too easy. If you left click and hold the candle, you can see the open, high, low, close on each candle now. You can do what now? Bruh. What? That's fucking badass. Oh, and you can, I guess if you move it, it'll go for each candle. Yo, that's sick. That's actually pretty cool. No lie. Nice. I like that, actually. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Who was that? Jordan D? Great job, Jordan. We appreciate the insight. Look at that. Yeah, all you got to do is hover your mouse over the candle and then press and hold left click. But if I drag it over other candles, it gives me that information. That's pretty cool. I guess that sort of beats hovering over and then looking up here, I guess. So, anyway, it's all good, Eric. What's good? Bonnie, DJ, Robert, and anybody else I might have missed. You weren't on the stream, Jordan? Gosh darn. Gosh darn, Jordan. Oh, well. So, NQ today, right? NQ today is absolute ass water. Ass water. Let's go over yesterday real quick before we get to today. Okay. Actually, we'll just go down to 1 minute. If you remember, okay, I mean, it was only 24 hours ago. I don't see why you wouldn't, but yesterday I said there was a chance. Big James, Roger, Alex C. Yesterday, in our session, right, between, well, the tail end of the session was us running lower for ES. And then I was basically saying, look, I don't really know what to expect. If anything, we could probably trade back to those highs. And I believe I said that for NQ and ES. What's good, Marvelous? So what made the difference yesterday was stand by. What made the difference yesterday was that low, right? So that 1257 low that we watched together, NQ came back almost like 20 minutes prior to the final hour. ES traded higher here, so ES did not take that same low. Scooped it, right? Swept it. Look at that beautiful fractal low as well. We traded higher. And then you do see a reaccumulation right there. And an imbalance inside of it right there. Look at that. 148, 149, 150, right? So 150, that starts the 2 p.m. macro, rallied, imbalance there. And then what did we reach for? New high, beyond that, and then eventually up to those highs at 214. See that? Right there. Sweep the low, run for the highs. Again. Sweep the low, run for the highs. Every week, bro, we're seeing the same things. Sweep the low, run for the highs. If that's all you waited for, if that's all you did, bro, look at these opportunities, man. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Now today, it is possible we could do the same thing. But NQ, complete weakness in here. We have already made it about halfway of the range, maybe a little bit more than halfway. See? So Sunday's gap, or whatever gap this is, yep, that didn't do shit this morning. It was nothing. Okay, it absolutely got massacred. My initial, and because we may not even do this, but my initial thought is, okay, if we are going to trade up to those highs, we should push through the gap, and then it should be support to go higher. And that's what I'm thinking. So, as always, I could be wrong. I like the lows on ES, but ES has the lows and Q has the highs. So, if you were to say, John, you have to take a trade, I would either long ES or NQ. I like the highs on NQ. I just don't like its weakness. For ES, here's my problem. Okay? That's not a problem, but here's like my thought process here. What have we been watching the last few months? On the weekly time frame for indices, right? What have we been watching? Expansion, higher pricing, we've been expecting it. Right? So ES weekly chart, September, has these highs up here. Now, if we use our new tool, I guess, 60 62.79 if we round up. This higher one, 62.85. Okay, so 62.85 is a weekly objective. If we go down to the daily, right? This is why I mentioned earlier in the Discord, I don't know if you're asking, Cameron, SPY is at all-time highs. ES is not. We look at Friday, right? Monday's candle. Monday, right? Sunday is included in that. So we don't really have a wick on the downside. We don't have that, right? We just have this, okay? Friday's close, Sunday's open. See that? Sunday gap high, Sunday gap low. Now, I thought that could be a factor today because, and again, I might be wrong, okay? Monday, yesterday, we stopped short and we traded higher. So now we have Monday's low, previous day's low here, resting just above Sunday's gap. Then, okay, this morning we left behind some highs. We traded lower, rallied up above those highs. We even took London's high here, okay? And here's where shit gets interesting. Because this is why I took a break-even trade today, because we ended up yoinking London's high. Beautiful. We traded lower, left an imbalance behind, right? Stabbed up. Let me take the drawings off. Stabbed up into the balance right there, then traded off of it. So as soon as that candle opened and we got higher pricing, boom, I'm short. The 1 minute was nice too. Right in here at like right around 9:35. Look at this shit. Okay, there's 9:32, 33, 34, 35. So that's a new 5 minute candle, stabs right into this imbalance. Boom, I'm short. Right? Hardly any drawdown. Hardly any. Right there. Immediately lower. Now, when I was watching this, my plan was exit one, right? First partial at 62.27. And then I would get out of everything else at 62.23, which was Sunday's gap. So it started to look good. This low here, in hindsight, okay, you know, what did I do wrong today? And again, this is with the benefit of hindsight. I didn't go into the trade looking at it this way. But 845, that low taken here, that is the because I want to say 830 is here. Oh, sorry, not that one. It's this one. Apologies. 831, that low here, that should have been a partial. That's where I screwed up. Why would that be a partial, John? I know some of you might be thinking, why would that be a partial, John? That doesn't make sense. Of course it does. Highest high and lowest low in the first 30 minutes. See that? Highest high prior to 9 o'clock, because we had job jolts. That's the highest high. That's the lowest low. So we traded higher. Again, London's high swept. Equities open high swept. That was the short, right? And then that should have been a partial. So what did I do? I said, okay, I'll just go break even, like plus like 1 point or something. So then this run back here, obviously takes me out. It's like, all right, maybe I got it wrong then. No harm, no foul. Then we start to trade lower, and I go, oh, you bitch. Right? You're like, oh, that's literally fixing to hit my original TP. And then it says, I don't think so. And then Riley's back up again. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm done. I'm over it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm over this shit. So I left it alone. Could we still go for those lows and even Sunday's gap? I still think we can. But as I said earlier, weekly is suggesting higher pricing. That's the weekly. Okay? It's not like you just go to the weekly time frame, find the bias, and then go to a 1 minute chart and just start taking trades. Right? It's not, we don't do that. We still have to incorporate, since today's Tuesday, we still have to incorporate stuff like previous session highs and lows, as well as previous day high and low. We got previous day on NQ. We do not have previous day for ES. See that? So if this is accumulation, probably going to trade higher. If we do trade higher, Dow Jones is already higher by quite a bit. I would not short this personally. And again, that would be in sync with NQ going higher too for those highs. So hopefully that adds up. Hopefully that explains. You know, I don't like trading on days like this where it's so mixed. Dow is moon, Nasdaq is shite, ES is kind of like neutral territory like usual. It's just in between. It's not really bullish. It's not really bearish. I mean, it's flat. You know what I mean? Dow is higher, NQ is lower, and ES is just, it price action wise, it is slightly higher, but overall it's basically flat. So I think probabilities are Nasdaq goes higher, even it being the weakest. You got back in, Cameron? Yeah, I'm just over it today. You know what I mean? I think after trading for so long and watching price action for so long, I have no problem walking away. I really don't. I have absolutely no issue walking away. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there were opportunity today. I mean, it's clear that Dow was the banger. You know what I mean? It usually doesn't happen that way. But, you know, who am I, right? That gap, that Sunday gap from yesterday, right? That yesterday afternoon took that low one more time. But guess where it never went to? 44,161, right? Remember that? We had that discussion yesterday. Dow went for those highs. Overnight didn't do a fucking thing. And then pre-market traded lower. And obviously we're much higher. You know what this reminds me of though? This reminds me of, damn, what's that movie? Ford versus Ferrari. This sort of price action seems like they're holding ES, they're holding, NQ is actually a little bit lower, but I feel like, again, this is hindsight because I did not tell you this beforehand, but I feel like they're allowing the Dow to catch up. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, pull back the indices, or at least don't let them do much, right? Like ES, it's literally flat, 0.00. It's literally nothing, right? And allow Dow to catch up. That's what it seems like. And usually on days like that, like today, I usually don't catch a move like that. I just usually don't. Okay. Dow is my least favorite index to trade. Personally, I think a lot of people do agree. But yeah, this to me, it's too late for me to long Dow. I'm definitely not long in that. You know? Yes. So yeah, it's just, I don't want to say choppy because I don't really care for the way most people classify price, but it is fairly sideways, right? And it's like, okay, they're just holding it, and allowing Dow to keep going. NQ is just like, I don't even know what to say about NQ other than what I've already said. If we can get back above Sunday's gap, maybe get back into it and then run, I could see that. Appreciate that, Germ. Thank you, thank you. I try to keep things simple. I try to, you know, give you guys the juice instead of like bullshit like footprint charts or whatever the fuck. I'm not going to get into that. I had someone comment yesterday. I approved it though, because I wanted everybody to see my reply to it too. Would it be better to have the mitigation on the 5-minute chart or the 1-minute Nasdaq? They basically say the same, but sometimes I try to put the mitigation on 2 to 3 candles. So I think it's personal preference, okay? The 1 minute may not always have, you know, the same cleanliness, if we can call it that, right? It may not have the same cleanliness. So the 5-minute here, right? We obviously traded through that into it, and then we rallied for Sunday's gap. Now at the moment, we're having a hard time getting back above it, right? NQ is like, okay, we tapped into it, and then we're just a little bit lower again. But if we are, and I know this is this can be the most obvious shit ever, but in order to get above those highs, we got to get above Sunday's gap first, right? I know, real revolutionary ideas, but it's just a reference point in price. It's a reference point, right? Like, say this low, for example, we couldn't get back below that low, rallied off of it, and on a small time frame, I mean, I don't really care like for this intermediate term low, that, you know, we have a low, we have a lower low, and then we have a higher low. So that's an intermediate term low, right? Rallied off of it, rallied off of it. So it's like, okay, well, our low of the day is taking Monday's low, leaving behind an intermediate term low. Okay, so then this imbalance to me is, I mean, it's at 11:30, but we trade into it and then off of it, right? It seems reasonable. We're at an extreme discount. We have resting highs up here. We already took out Monday's low. So that to me seems reasonable. Right? From there to there, that's a little bit above 25%. That's a steep discount. Then through that up candle, so that should be reaccumulation if we're going to go higher. If we don't, if we end up going lower, then guess what? I'll be wrong. And that's it. I'll just be wrong. Would I be mad about it? No. Could ES go lower? It is possible. So there you go. But anyway, I say all that to say, to answer your question, do you want the 5 minute or the 1 minute? The 5 minute may look cleaner sometimes than the one. And you can elect to go with that instead of the 1 minute time frame. Right? I mean, I've shown you that. I've shown you days where we never even went down to a 1 minute and just stayed on a 5. You know? So that's my answer. It's personal preference. I don't mind either one. But for Nasdaq's case, I do like the 5. See, look at this shit. Another high. And all this is up here, I don't think it's all that important at the moment, but all that was just an imbalance. Just the next imbalance above London's high. That's all that is. So we do have a 1, 2, 3 formation up here. Yeah. I don't like this. I don't like it. So what do you do if you don't want to short and you don't want to long? You walk away. You walk away, chat. What do you guys think? You want to be bullish or bearish? Scott said, read books. Gold star for Scott. Finally, somebody talking about books again. We got at least one reader in the chat. Hallelujah. Ooh, what do I think about entering long NQ at 50% for the lazy traders model? Ooh. Honestly, I could see it. I could see it. But don't take a trade based off my recommendation. But we probably shouldn't. If we're gonna go up here, dog, this is my belief. If we're gonna, yeah, too many drawing tools on here today. If we are gonna clear those highs, we shouldn't go back to the low end of this imbalance, in my opinion. We shouldn't do that. So we shouldn't go down to 25. We should not go there. So it seems like a reasonable 1 to 2 to me. Am I putting money behind that? Nope. Nope. I'm not putting any risk on that. Personally. I think it's okay. Do I think it's ideal? No. So we'll have to see this afternoon where we end up. But anyway, we covered a few things today. I briefly went over yesterday the Nasdaq returning for those internal highs. Do you guys have any questions? It might be a short stream today. You guys have any questions? 476 is my next target if we're bearish. 476, Jesus. That is a ways away. Not impossible, but that's pretty far. That is pretty far. Oh, you know what? Let's cover currencies then. Someone's always asking about currencies. John, when are you going to talk about currencies again? When are you going to talk about the euro and dollar and all this shit? Okay. Yesterday. All right, Scott, have a good one. Yesterday, we talked about reference points, right? I said, what is there to reference on the dollar index without going to like a monthly chart and looking at some price data from like 3 years ago? What is there to reference? So I do not know if when we run some lows, Remember that screenshot? It was somewhere in here, I think. Right? Or was that in here? I don't fucking remember. But anyway, I know we talked about how, what is the low going to be? I don't know. I don't know. I don't always know if it's going to be a reversal or a continuation. If there's no reference point, I have no way of telling. Okay? We did make a low in London and have traded off of that. Now, I wasn't obviously up for London or anything. I did tweet yesterday. I said I liked the lows on New Zealand, but it wasn't primed yet. I think that was up in here. I was saying it wasn't primed yet. I want to say we traded up and into a weekly because I couldn't see shit on the daily. This weekly imbalance here. Traded off of that. All right, see that today? This Tuesday candle. So it seems pretty reasonable. We may want to run for those lows. Do I think it's a perfect market maker sell model? No. No. I don't think that is the case. And Australian dollar doesn't have the same lows. And I'm not sure that this high is solidified. So, I don't know. I do not know, my friends. British pound. Did I cover British pound yesterday at all? Did I talk about British pound yesterday? We had a nice, if I didn't, I'll definitely cover it in tonight's market review. I think it did have a nice buy model here, but it was weak, bro. Oh, I didn't? Okay, well, I'll save that for the market review then. I'm just kidding. I liked this as an original consolidation. I liked this as a level of distribution. Friday the 27th. Okay. I did purple for previous day high and previous day low and just never changed the colors. But yesterday we ran about 10 pips below Monday's low. Or excuse me, Friday's low here. So on a 5-minute, that looks pretty nice, right? Original consolidation, sold off. We rallied to go lower. Nike's a shit stock. And they're a shit company. And they're just shit. That's my review of Nike. I guess I'll take a brief look at it, but Nike sucks. It's just ass. It really is. But anyway, like I was saying, those up candles, right? That is what I initially traded. And then I went to the Easy Tag store and drove to the Easy Tag store. Dollar was going lower. British pound rallied. I'm like, okay, wonderful. You know, now we should maybe retrace a little bit. Now we should go for those highs as a second stage accumulation. I get back home. I get to the PC. British pound is right back in my entry. I'm like, you bitch. Everything else was rallying. British pound was the weakest one. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to just close it at a break even. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm done. This is weak. This is ass. I'm going to just leave it alone. So, of course, what happens when you exit a trade at break even? What happens, Chad? Then it goes your direction. And then we had to wait a little bit, not overnight, but over the close and then into Asia, we ran the highs. So that was great. I don't want to say impatience. There might be a little bit of impatience, but if you're trading, right, a weak currency, and then we get a new high, right? There was opportunities to partial. I'm not home. I had to go to the fucking Easy Tag store. They sent me an Easy Tag. I never got it. They're like, oh, you got to come into the store. I'm gonna come into the store and beat your ass. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. They were nice people. But it's like, okay, I had to go do all that shit. I come back, and then it's back in my entry. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna just close it and go focus on indices. So then, yeah, naturally, we end up still getting it. So that is something that I have to journal, right? Yeah, the analysis was great. It was the weakest currency, probably not ideal, you know, but that's the battle sometimes, is figuring out, okay, was it impatience, or was it really, really good trade management because you didn't let a winner turn into a loser, right? So that's the question. And then, of course, we were chased a little bit more, and then we continue for Friday's high. And I want to say last week's high here too. So I could have left a runner on, obviously, but you know, that's just hindsight, you know. But I know yesterday we near the end, right, or in the second half somewhere of yesterday's live stream, I gave you those questions, right? The weekend reflections. That stuff will help you figure this kind of stuff out. Especially, it's really frustrating, chat, when you finally start to learn analysis, right? But you start taking trades, and then you either mismanage the trade, or you move your stop loss too quick, and then the market still goes to your TP. And you're like, you're frustrated because you know you're improving, but your results aren't catching up yet. And you're like, oh, this sucks. You know what I mean? So that's why journaling is super important, because if this stuff doesn't happen to me all the time, okay? But if you're constantly breaking even, but still being on the right side of the market, then yeah, there's something that you're doing wrong. Either moving your stop too quickly, or you're a little bit too impatient. So I guess I'll give you one more idea that you could follow if you'd like. Do you remember the triple screen? And yeah, Robert, I don't know if that was a question or not. You could trade on a lower time frame and have a smaller time frame stop, yeah. But remember, the smaller your stop, the more likely it is that you're going to get hit, especially if you're trading in the middle of a range. So just be mindful, big dog. That's all I'm saying. Just be mindful. Do you guys remember the triple screen? Yes or no? 24 votes, 70-30, 70% bullish, 30% bearish. Reasonable numbers. The triple screen. Clean this up a little bit. Let's say this was your monitor. Okay? Let's say that was your monitor. The triple screen, and this is just the way that I do it. Obviously, everyone has their own, you know, method of splitting a screen, or just having more than one monitor, then that would work too. But for those that, you know, only have one monitor, or maybe you're like me and you learn how to trade on a fucking laptop, 13-inch MacBook Pro. You know what I mean? Let me do this. Okay, your smaller time frame, which takes up half the screen, that's going to be like your 1 minute, maybe 5 minute if you like. The medium Your intermediate term time frame could be something like a 5 minute or maybe a 15, possibly a 1 hour. Again, this time frame, you can literally create your own time frames. So it's all relative to what you want, right? It could be 1 minute, 5 minute, 15. You know, it could be 5, 15, 1 hour, or 1 minute, 15 minute daily. I mean, there's whatever combination, you know, of time frames that you want. But if you do your daily time frame analysis and your weekly time frame analysis on the weekend, then you would already have certain levels on your chart probably. So you may not like that. Sorry, that's supposed to say L. Small time frame, medium time frame, large time frame. Okay, I said this in Telegram the other day, but I want to make sure everybody gets it here too. Your small time frame is for entries. Large time frame and even the medium time frame can be bias. So the 15-minute chart, 5 minute, 15-minute chart is really good for previous session highs and lows, previous day highs and lows. If you enter on the small time frame, 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, whatever, I would not watch and manage the trade. I mean, I do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Watching and managing the trade on that same small time frame. If you entered on a 1 minute or a 5, why not manage it on a 15 minute? That way, when you see those 1 minute candles start to go against you, right? Like this, say you're long from down here and you see this retracement here, you're not shitting your pants going, oh man, what if I'm wrong? What if it comes all the way back and gets me break even? But go into like, say, a 15 or a 5, the 15 minute is a beautiful reminder that you have equal highs up here. It's a nice reminder that you have Sunday's gap that you still got to get above. You know what I mean? It's a nice reminder that, hey, you're still in from a discount. You got a good entry. Just relax, you know? Or 5 minute, same thing. You have a potential reaccumulation here that can help, you know, solidify your entry. You can say, okay, we shouldn't go back to the low end of the reaccumulation. So we need to watch that. And right now, it's not doing that. Now, the longer it doesn't trade higher, you know, may not still rally up here. But I'm just saying, it's something to reference. So instead of trying to see 1 or 2 ticks against you, thinking, oh shit, it's going to come all the way back down to get me out. And you start to hesitate or you start to get nervous. Well, I'll pass a combine if I can get up here though. Right? You start doing all this shit. I know how you fuckers think. I do it sometimes too. So I fucking know. Don't think I don't know, chat. I know. I know shit. Okay? You think I don't know shit? I know a lot of shit. All right? Heart starts pounding. Whatever. Yes. Small time frames are for entries. Your intermediate term time frame, your medium time frame, that's for, you know, reminders of levels of liquidity. Or, you know, whatever, lows being swept, all that kind of shit. Your large time frame is just a reminder. You put that weekly down here of those, of saying that the weekly is massively bullish. Not saying you can't short, but that's a heavy reminder. If you're trying to short on small time frame, knowing that the weekly is bullish, that's its own filter right there. Because you're saying, okay, yeah, the weekly's bullish, but I'm going to short. Salmon shit. 15-second, you're wilding. It's not a bad time frame, but I'm going to start, you know, doing coke and shit if I do 15-second time frame. I don't live that lifestyle, you know what I mean? But you know, more power to you, big dog. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. But it ain't me. Yeah, see, Cameron, there's nothing wrong with that. 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour. Plus, watching the larger time frames or the intermediate term time frames helps you understand like candle closures and stuff too. Like if you're fixing to enter on a small time frame, but the 15 minute has like 2 minutes before it closes, why not just wait for a new 15-minute candle? You know what I mean? So those are the kinds of things that I would want to reference. So anyway, now we are at the 1 p.m. macro. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can get above Sunday's gap or not. I don't think I have anything else though. But drop some ones in the chat if you guys understood what we talked about today. Meaning your triple, this is the triple screen. I did not invent that. I think that I believe got famous because of Alexander Elder. I think it was in How to Trade for a Living. I believe so. I'd have to double check that. What is that crown thing? What is that? I've never seen that. What does that mean, Robert? What is that crown #1 thing? Huh. Maybe you're like... Yeah, I don't know either. I'm gonna have to look that up. Or chat GPT. Look at my phone real quick. No, we fuck that. We need to know what that is. What is... G said top fan. No, that's what I thought. But how, though? How do you get that? Is it comments? Is it likes? I mean, what is it? Symbol on YouTube chats. We got to figure this shit out, chat. The crown icon with #1, #2, or #3 next to usernames in YouTube live chat is part of YouTube's experimental leaderboard feature. Here's what it means. YouTube is testing a community leaderboard in selective live streams. Nice. Viewers earn XP by engaging, sending chat messages, super chats, super stickers, or memberships. The top 3 most engaged viewers receive a crown badge next to their name, 1, 2, and 3. Displayed next to their name in the chat. There's also a crown icon at the top of the chat. It shows your current XP and links to a leaderboard of the top 50 participants. If you don't want to participate or see the crowns, you can disable it, go into YouTube settings, live chat, blah, 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 blah. That's pretty cool. You guys are in competition now. Oh, we're above Sunday's gap. Look at that shit. Unpredictable. Unpredictable. But no, that's not really nothing to brag about. We have to get above it, and then if we trade back into it, I believe we would need to see that support price and then rally that bitch. But if I was long, I would definitely take a partial here. I would definitely partial if I was long. Personally. Right, personally. ES takes Asia high. Well, if our weakest index is rallying, I would hope the other two are rallying. Wait a minute. How does Cameron and Robert have both #1? Yo, this is bullshit. How are you both #1, chat? Yeah, of course it's experimental. This shit's not work. Apparently I'm YouTube's guinea pig, huh? Experimental. What is that? They don't even tell me. If you click on the crown, it shows something. What does it show you? Hey, G's number 3. Look at that. He said we're in competition now. I took over. Yo, that's cooked. That's cool though. We didn't see that yesterday, so this must be like new today. Huh. Maybe maybe if you tip with live cash, maybe you're at the top spot. I don't know. Try it out, Cameron. How about like $100? $100, Cameron. Let's do it. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do it. None of you have to donate, bro. But that's what it said. It said you earn XP by sending messages, super chats, and super stickers or memberships. I don't make the rules, chat. I don't make the rules. And yeah, Germ, I got 10K. We celebrated a little bit yesterday. I really got it on Sunday night. And that's why I released the weekend reflections yesterday in the Discord. So anyway, Roger, I saw your question. I didn't mean to just blast right past you. Which video can I watch that has a higher time frame top-down analysis? Well, we've done that on the live stream already. You're just analyzing the time frames. You go to the weekly, right? Press the W, right? Press the W, take a look at it. Where's it at right now? Where are we going? Where have we been? Now, NQ's already at, the triple Qs are at all-time highs. Nasdaq futures are at all-time highs as well. So, what can you do with that? On the weekly, I can't do shit with that. We need to go down to the daily then. We go down to the daily and we look at Monday yesterday having it ain't got no pants on, bro. It ain't got no pants on. There's no wick on the bottom. Okay. So Sunday open and Monday's candle, we only traded higher. We never went below the open. We go down to the 1 hour. Right? Where would that be? Look at that over here. Look at that right there. See that? So yesterday's low, just like ES, yesterday's low is a little bit like 20 points above Sunday's gap. So that's an engineered low. So in the morning, I wasn't bearish like at the time, but it's that simple. You went from the weekly down to the daily, then we can go to the 1 hour. And then once we have, some shit, then the reference points. And that's all it did, that's it. Now, obviously, you need to do deeper analysis than that. But that's a speed run through top-down analysis. Tordy, appreciate the €5. Oh, man, I'm having steak tonight. Steak dinner tonight, dog. Thank you. Much appreciated. I'm putting ketchup on it. I'm putting ketchup on the steak, Tordy. I gotta do it. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. YouTube is my first social media that I've ever hit 10K on anything. I've been losing Instagram followers every day. Well, not every day, but like every month I go down in followers. I've been going down on Instagram for years. I don't know why. You buy a brand new fucking sports car, everybody hates you. Well, that backfired. Child. Unlike my car, right? It don't backfire. GJ? We can look at GJ, but honestly, cross pairs are just... Cross pairs will kind of like cross you out, you know what I mean? Tic-tac-toe, stab you in the back, hit your stop loss. Cameron's, I'm just kidding. I haven't put ketchup on steak since I was a kid. Thank you, Eric. Thank you all for 10K. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Not bad for a fifth-year high school student, huh? Nope. Not bad. Anyway, there was something I was getting ready to do, and I don't remember. I can't remember. Well, fuck it. All right, so in closing, I will put out the market review later today. That is for members only. Alex, Andro, Germ, okay, Eddie. I live stream for free. Market reviews are every Tuesday and Thursday, so one of those will come out today. How to trade like Marcus Aurelius comes out on Thursday. That's going to be solid. At least for me. I think it's a great video. I think it's awesome. Maybe you might not like it, but I like Stoic philosophy. I like Marcus Aurelius. I like meditations. I think you're going to really enjoy the video. We'll take a real brief look at GJ, but honestly, I just think it's cheeks. You know what I mean? It looks like cheeks. 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 I still got some lines over here from, I guess, 6 months ago, or what I was looking at. Weekly suggests higher. Now, here's the problem with cross pairs is you have to, this is what I would do, okay? For GJ, you need to go into British pound futures by themselves. Then yen futures by themselves. And then go into GJ. So what this cross pair is suggesting is that yen, right? Currently, yen has been consistently weaker than British pound, right? Because British pound is going higher against the yen. Now, price action wise, right? That's what it suggests. I don't even know what the currency's interest rates are, to be fair. I don't know if there's an interest rate differential here. I'm guessing there is. That's just a guess. You have to double check. Okay. I think it's globalinterestrates.com or just go into Google, look up currency interest rates. This suggests higher. Those highs at like 198.94. And then maybe even October's high here. So if that is the case, we need to look for levels of liquidity. See, like this shit down here? We went higher, made an intermediate term high, and then sold off, retracement, and then sold off for those lows. So that was not an ideal in my opinion, but that was a nice market maker sell model here. So those lows have been cleared out. I would think higher pricing. But guess what? I haven't traded this in forever. It's been years since I've traded GJ. But again, there's just another example of top-down analysis. But I told you what else to do. Go look at the futures. Go look at the interest rates. Right? That's what I think higher time frame is suggesting. Higher pricing. Now, that is a longer term perspective. So if this, if you just buy this shit and it goes down, 50, 100 pips, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. But that's higher time frame, in my opinion. Germ, they're equal. So it's going to be a case-by-case basis. They both. You need the successful traders trio suggests, right, that you need a good strategy, good risk management, and good psychology. 2 out of the 3 won't work. So each person will be different. If you got good risk management, but your psychology sucks, you need to work on your psychology. Maybe you have good psychology, but you risk too much, lower your risk. You know? And I agree, Eddie, you do. Thank you, Torty. But, all right, that's going to be it from me. All right, so y'all be good, be blessed. We'll be here same time, same place tomorrow on Wednesday, July. It's already July, chat. July 2nd. All right. Don't do anything stupid between now and then. All right. And I'll put out the market view later tonight.